In the wake of the Clash at the Castle, Monday Night Raw hit the airwaves with an episode that would lay the groundwork for Money in the Bank on July 6th and the road to SummerSlam 4 weeks after that. The first Money in the Bank ladder match qualifying matches, as well as the fallout from the action in Glasgow, Scotland, dominated the discussion. But that was hardly the only major talking point. After months of mysterious QR codes and ominous warnings, fans at the American Bank Center Arena in Corpus Christi, Texas, were set to witness the arrival of a new force, born from the legacy of Bray Wyatt. What was it? Who was involved? And what does it mean for WWE in the weeks and months to come? Find out now with this recap of Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and streaming.com. Today, I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. And yes, we are also joined by the world champion himself, the Phenom, Michael Bullock.
Yeet!
Yeet. And ladies and gentlemen, I say that because breaking news, Michael Bullock's Boston Celtics are NBA world champions. They have won the NBA championship once again. They can call themselves NBA champions. Banner number 18. First time since 2008. And with all due respect, gentlemen, I can't think of a better way to main event tonight's show than with that. Plus, I want to give Bullock a little bit of some time to get going
to soak in the moment. Yeah,
exactly.
I agree. Yep.
So
no doubt.
It will be this. It's a good news, bad news. The bad news is it's the final Celtics chat, but the good news is we're going out the best way possible. The final Celtics chat, and it's going to be a damn sweet one. Let me tell you that right now. We will get to the Celtics in a little bit, but first we got to get into Monday Night Raw, the fallout from Clash at the Castle, and of course, I will quickly give you the results of the TNA Against All Odds special that went down this past Friday night. And then in the main event, the season finale of the Celtics chat. And it's going to be the best Celtics chat ever. So let's not waste any more time and let's try to get through this as quickly as we can so we can get to that big moment. Because I know Bullock's chomping at the bits. Trust me when I tell you. We also had our Raw chat tonight. We had a literal Celtics chat tonight. And let's just say we had a lot more fun than we did on Friday. Let me tell you that right now. So we'll get to all of that. But first, Monday Night Raw was live tonight from the aforementioned American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas, on the USA Network. And we started it off with a bang. We started it off with a surprise. The return of Seth freaking Rollins. Whoa. He's back. Seth freaking Rollins for the first time since WrestleMania. Seth freaking Rollins looks amazing. He looks great. Looks like that long layoff did him some good. And that brings out the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest. And gentlemen, we have our first official match for Money in the Bank. Damian Priest will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. Whoa. Okay. What else is there to say? Just when we thought we had all the answers, Triple H and the creative team changed the question. Anyone who believed the SummerSlam main event would move in the predictable direction of Priest versus Gunther were proven wrong from the jump tonight. That unpredictability will do wonders to help make WWE programming must-see in the coming weeks and months, with one of the biggest shows of the year right around the corner. Rollins spent the last year establishing himself as a legitimate main event guy in WWE, and his presence was sorely missed over the last few months. This was a great way to reintroduce him without any unnecessary bells and whistles. So, big pop for Rollins as he kicked off the show with a major surprise. And it's funny how easy it is to book a championship match when it's two guys who appreciate competition and respect the title, who just booked the match without unnecessary tournaments or contender matches. Great way to start it off here. So, not much more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. What a surprise. Seth freaking Rollins back in WWE for the first time since WrestleMania. And at Money in the Bank, Rollins versus Priest for the heavyweight championship of the world. Priest and Gunther at SummerSlam? I don't know now.
Yeah, this just got a little more bumpier. The road got a little more tougher. Who knows how this plays out? We know Gunther's going to get the shot at the title, but now is it Rollins who might be facing off with Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship? We don't know. I mean, obviously, they definitely got something up the sleeve, something up the line. Maybe that's why they pulled the trigger and didn't crown Drew McIntyre the champion, because maybe they were hoping for Rollins to come back. Lo and behold, he's back, and now he's going after the World Heavyweight Championship again. Now, I know a lot of people out there are still a little surly about what happened, but it looks like it makes a lot more sense now. And the road that we're looking at makes a lot more sense than anything else. Yeah, great way to start Monday Night Raw. Big surprise. I don't think none of us read any dirt sheets about Rollins being in Corpus Christi, because that was completely out of right field. When you heard the burn it down, you heard the crowd reaction. They started freaking out. And just as much as they were freaking out, I know we were like, what? Rollins, what are you doing here? Well, he's here. And yeah, it was a big moment. What a great way to welcome back Seth freaking Rollins. And he said it. He's like, look, I'm here for the legacy. I'm here for the immortality. I'm here to try to be the greatest of all time. And by doing that, I need to get the belt back. I need to once again be the world heavyweight champion. So that's exactly what it's going to have to be. That's the road. That's the journey. That's what Seth wants to do. And then with Damian Priest coming out, Priest pretty much said it. I respect you. I respect everything you've done. I respect the thing. And he even threw the sidebar. He's like, I wanted it to catch the Money in the Bank on you. I wanted to fight you for the World Heavyweight title, mano a mano. I never got a chance to do that. I want to do it man to man, you and me, one-on-one, for the belt, to prove that I am the rightful deserving heir to the WWE's World Heavyweight Championship. That is major respect, major props for El Campeón. And let me tell you, La Campeón de Físico Completo, the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest, that is how you become a heavyweight champion. You put it out on the line in front of your peers, and you say, I don't back down. I don't run. I don't hide. He even said it. I don't need the Judgment Day. That's going to ruffle a few feathers within the camp because of the fact of the Judgment Day and everything else. But he's saying it. I don't need them. I don't want them. I want to earn it. I want to prove it. I want to beat you at your best. Money in the Bank for the World Championship. That is a champion you can respect. Because if he lives and dies on that sword to lose to Rollins, then so be it. But he wants to prove that he is deserving of the moment. And I knew it. I felt it. I said it. What did I tell you, Anthony Florio, on Saturday? Something, I'll bet you deep inside he was not happy with the way that he won that match over McIntyre. And this proved it. He wants to prove that he's deserving. He wants to prove that he can carry the WWE World Heavyweight Championship because he knows what it means to be the heavyweight champion of the world. That is why he did what he did. Props to Damian Priest. Welcome back, Seth Rollins. Michael Bullock. There's nothing more for me to say. It is all yours, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely good to see Seth the freaking Rollins back. I mean, I certainly did not expect it. I mean, this was awesome to see, and yeah, it looked like he was going to declare himself for the Money in the Bank, but out comes Damian Priest, and he said, "You know what? Forget the ladder, forget the briefcase. I want to challenge you for my World Heavyweight Championship. Will you accept it?" And Seth was like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm serious." So he definitely accepted it, and yeah, things just got interesting. Especially now when we get to SummerSlam, we thought maybe it was a little more clear for Gunther, but now it just got a little more complicated. So welcome back, Seth Rollins. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Business has indeed picked up on Monday nights. No question about it. Chad Gable kicked off the in-ring action tonight. He went to Adam Pearce and says he wanted another shot at Sami Zayn. Adam Pearce was like, "No, you've had your opportunities. You got to earn them. It's back of the line for you. And you're going to be in action tonight against an opponent of my choosing." And that opponent was none other than Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman defeats Chad Gable in 6 minutes and 35 seconds. And MF, Chad Gable, back of the line, buddy.
Back of the line, and on top of that, he tried to berate the Alpha Academy, and Otis had enough.
DiBiase inversion.
He pushed them right down, and you saw the coward. You saw the fear in the eyes of Chad Gable. He realizes he created a monster, and the monster bit back. This is going to be the moment that we were all waiting for. Now the game has changed. Because Otis is very protective. He's protective of Tozawa, and he's definitely protective of Maxine. He sees that in all of them. He probably thinks of Tozawa as his talkie. He thinks of Maxine as his as Mandy Rose, his peach, as he used to call her. He thinks, and remember that promo that he had in the backstage when he was talking with how he was talking with Sami Zayn, and he was like how he had everything about that around that year, how he was the Money in the Bank, how he had it all. He had and then he lost it all in one foul swoop. He lost Tucker. He lost Mandy. He lost the Money in the Bank. And, yes, Chad Gable did help him. He molded him into that Alpha Academy. But Chad Gable has manipulated and tries to do things that's not their general thing. And he tried to berate them, saying that, you are the ones that made me forced to go into the back of the line. No. You did that on your own, Gable. You lost the matches. It wasn't that Maxine did anything wrong. It's not that Otis did anything wrong. You got to look yourself in the face. And you got to realize, in the immortal words of one of my friends, and I know this is going to be harsh, but I don't give a damn. You're a failure. No ifs, No ands, no buts. That's what you are, Chad Gable. You are an effing failure. Michael Bullock, this was 2 stars. It's all yours.
And I'll do you one better. Chad Gable, the Alpha, Maxine, Otis, and Tozawa didn't screw you. They didn't screw Chad Gable. Chad Gable screwed Chad Gable because you are an effing failure and you can't win the big one and you can't get the job done. 2 stars, it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. Excuse me. Gable fared well enough, but ultimately succumbed to the running power slam as his larger opponent earned an impressive victory. After the match, Gable again berated Akira Tozawa, only for Maxine Dupri to step in front of her teammate. When the disgraceful coach took her crutch and threw it to ringside and slapped Tozawa, Otis finally lashed out at his longtime tag team partner, shoving him across the ring. He left the ring amid chants of Otis, Otis, while helping Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupri to the back. This was a big moment for Otis, who appeared to sever his relationship with Gable after weeks of anticipation. Crowd reacted favorably, popping for the physicality, but this felt rather tame compared to the big blow-off to the repeated teases one would have hoped for. Hopefully, this is just the first chapter in the breakup, as Otis eventually gets his hands on Gable in a high-stakes, high-profile match, perhaps as early as Money in the Bank. So, not much more to say on that. So, 2 to 2.5 for that. And we move on to the first of 2 triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying matches. First up, the women, as it was Io Sky versus Kiana James versus Zelina Vega. Winner of the match, 8.5 minutes. Io Sky going back to Money in the Bank. And Michael Bullock, Io Sky will look to pull a CM Punk and win back-to-back women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. But she didn't do it by herself. She had help from a certain women's world champion.
Yeah, I'll give this about 2.5. Zelina Vega was on the verge of look like maybe sealing her spot in the women's Money in the Bank, but then Liv Morgan shows up, and you can just see the exchange, and Zelina said, "What are you doing here? Get out of here." And Liv's like, I'm staying right here. And that distraction cost Zelina Vega. And Fletch, I know Zelina Vega is your girl, and I'm sure she's got that fire in her eyes, that Latina temper, that she's probably gonna want Liv Morgan's head on a silver platter. And if I know you, Fletch, you're probably like, damn it, Liv Morgan, you screwed my girl over. So yeah, so 2.5 is what I'll give it. But Florio, man, I've said this to you, I'm gonna say it again. Liv Morgan is playing with fire, and she's literally making a lot of enemies out of a lot of people.
Indeed she is. Indeed she is.
And there's a saying, you play with fire, you're going to eventually get burned.
And don't start something you can't finish either.
A la Gorilla Monsoon.
Exactly. All right, so 2.5, 2 3/4 is my rating here. Like Bullock mentioned, Zelina Vega appeared to be on her way to victory at one point, only for the women's world champion Liv Morgan to make her way to the ring, taunting her from a distance. Kiana James wiped her out, only for Io to take Kiana out and score the win off the over-the-moon salt. The introduction of Morgan is interesting. It would seem to point to a match between her and Zelina Vega for the Women's World Championship at Money in the Bank, a match that the prospective challenger has waited for since she lost to Rhea Ripley 1 year ago in her home country of Puerto Rico at Backlash. Io Sky is a logical addition to the ladder match, but it is interesting to have Kiana James eating losses this early in her run. 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star for me. MF, Io Sky. First to qualify, there's going to be 6 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. That's how it's going to break down on the men and women's side. Io, 1 win away from pulling a CM Punk and going back to back.
Yeah, and definitely, you know what? A lot of people thought it was going to be Zelina Vega getting the opportunity. Unfortunately, she does not. Io goes through, and now she's gonna get the opportunity, like you said, to try to go back to back and to try to get the Money in the Bank again for herself. But I'll say this, Michael Bullock, I know Zelina Vega, and right now she's looking for the chacleta. She's going after Liv. I don't care what's gonna happen. Liv, you better have your eyes in the back of your head. There might be a chancleta flying at your head the next time she sees you. There's gonna be a brawl. The Latina temper's coming out. The Puerto Ricana from New York is coming out. She is gonna whoop your butt. That's all I'm gonna say. This is about 2.5 to 3. I'm gonna park it there. Anthony Florio, it's back to you.
All right. And next up, we had another in-ring segment, as it was Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. He said he's moved on from Chad Gable. So he says, I want a new challenger. Enter Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker interrupts, but then we had another interruption. Sheamus, the Celtic Warrior. And Sami Zayn says, you know what, guys? I don't think these people in Corpus Christi came to hear you guys talk. They want to see you guys fight. So I'm gonna go to the back. I'm gonna talk to Adam Pearce. And I'm gonna make sure you two go at it here tonight. Oh, guess what? It happened. And we're gonna talk about it a little bit later on. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. You want to talk about a be a man fight, gentlemen? Oh, that is a be a man fight and then some. Next up, we had Dragon Lee squaring off against Carlito. Carlito wins the match in an even 8 minutes. Well, let me just break this down. Let me break down the segment here. 3 men, 1 title. It is a story we have seen play out before, but one with a little more substance to it. Breaker is in the midst of making an impression on the main roster that establishes him as the most dangerous threat to anyone in his path. Sheamus needs the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship to have won every major singles championship available to him. Sami Zayn is continuing the championship reign he worked his entire career to attain. And Breaker and Sheamus will score off later in the show, but a 3-way matchup may be the best option available, given the talent and storylines at play. As for Carlito and Dragon Lee, another 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star match. A lot of craziness here. Zelina Vega attacked Liv Morgan, showed up again, teasing Dom while wearing his vest. Zelina Vega attacked Liv Morgan, brawl between Judgment Day and LWO. McDonough tripped up Lee, and Carlito scored the win off the backstabber. It took a little bit of work to get Dominic at ringside and for Morgan and Vega to get involved, but it all made sense en route to the heel win. Carlito continues to prove himself as an ally of Judgment Day. Morgan and Dominic added to their story, and we got a nice brawl between Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan to hype a potential women's world title match between those two at Money in the Bank. Solid segment of television, even if there was a bit too much going on at the end to focus on one specific development. So, not much more to say. MF, Carlito defeating Dragon Lee in 8 minutes. And I think we're definitely on. I think Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega are on a collision course for Money in the Bank in that Women's World Championship.
I told you, man. I told you she found that chocolatada. She started beating her with it. It's getting there, and we know it's gonna play out. It's gonna be a brawl. We're gonna have a fight. The title will be on the line. You know what? This is going to be one of those instances where, unfortunately, it looks like Liv will go over and successfully defend the title. But once you get to that next part, who knows how it plays out? But my goodness, man, this was this was as good as you're gonna get, and at long last, we'll see how it plays out. But all in all, it was still something good, something that we saw, and end of the day, we're gonna see how it plays out. But this was good. Like you said, Carlito continues to prove why he is worthy of being a member of the squad, and they did really good with it. So solid segment. Like you said, it was about maybe 2.5 stars. And Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, it was a solid segment here. I mean, I definitely agree with you on that. And yeah, this was about 2.5 for me as well. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
All right, guys, we move on and enter Drew McIntyre. But then in the back, Alpha Academy. Otis said that he, Maxine, and Tozawa were leaving. Gable said, "Your family, you don't leave." And then they did. And then Gable threw a fit while saying that they would be nothing without him. And Gable said he would win Money in the Bank and do something that the failure Otis could never do, cash in successfully and become world champion. Enter Drew McIntyre. We were all hoping for some sort of a tirade after he got embarrassed at Clash at the Castle again. And he very simply said, "I can't do this anymore. Screw this company. I quit." Anna Pierce tried to talk some sense into him. Hell, Triple H even tried talking sense into him. He sent Adam Pierce after him, but to no avail. MF, you got to have some serious thoughts about this. What do we make of this?
This can go a number of different ways. Obviously, I think what it is this could be a swerve. I honestly think this is a swerve. Remember, CM Punk was not going to be there. He's going to be on SmackDown this Friday night because of the fact it's in Chicago. And he was supposed to provide an update on his medical condition. I think we're going to get is the big announcement that Punk is going to be medically cleared. He's going to be good to go. And that is when the moment I think McIntyre shows up and he gets the payback from Scotland. You screwed me over in Scotland. I'm going to take you out in your house, your hometown, eye for an eye. This is one of the cases where Punk, you're going to get what you deserve. I'm sorry. You provoked this. You started this. Yes, McIntyre started this when he injured you. When he injured you at Royal Rumble and then started to basically throw dirt over your dead body. And what you did at WrestleMania, that was fine. That was fair game. Then what happened on at Clash at the Castle? Yes, I know people were pissed and the whole 9 yards. Like I said, I harkened back to all the crap that McIntyre did in the past. And I said, you made your bed, you lied in it, you got what you rightfully deserve. And a lot of people came after me for that. Quite frankly, I don't give a damn. You can go screw yourselves. This time around, unfortunately, if you're CM Punk, you got to have eyes in the back of your head. You're thinking, well, McIntyre's gone. There's nothing more for us to say. He's out of there. It's done. No. You should know better than that, Punk. McIntyre will come back. He's going to come with a vengeance, and he is coming after you. He is going to do the same thing. And I'm going to call it right now. I think we're going to get a beatdown. I think we're going to get an embarrassing moment. CM Punk is going to get laid out in Chicago in front of his friends, in front of his family, in front of the IWC capital of the world. He is going to get what was coming to him. The fans in Scotland wants to see him get his ass kicked. There's a lot of fans that want to see CM Punk get his ass kicked Friday night in Chicago. Punk's getting his ass kicked by the Scottish psychopath, by the Scottish warrior, Drew McIntyre. Unfortunately, Punk, you made the bed this time around. You're going to have to lie in it. So that's what that's all about. I'm not believing the hype. I'm not believing all this nonsense. McIntyre's already re-signed. He's inked. They're setting this up for SummerSlam. Don't believe any of the garbage. Any other thing that you hear on the internet about him leaving, deactivating his social media, it's all a ploy. It's all a setup for SummerSlam. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. You can book it right now. Cleveland, get ready, because that's what you're getting. You're getting a mega fight. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Anything else doesn't matter to me. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Oof. Man, I don't even know how in the world I'm going to try to follow that. I don't think I can. I mean, but yeah, I'm with Fletch. This is definitely a swerve, and this is setting up for Drew McIntyre and CM Punk at SummerSlam. No doubt about it. So I don't think there's really much more to say. Fletch pretty much said everything. So it's yours, Florio.
It will be interesting to see where this heads from here. But considering, like MF said, considering SmackDown is in the IWC capital of the world, Chicago, on Friday night, and CM Punk is confirmed for that show, do not be surprised if the Scottish Warrior shows up in his rival's backyard and looks to repay the hometown embarrassment. That's all there is to say there. Cut out here, Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance actually win the match in 2.5 minutes, but they had a little help. Lyra Valkyria paying back Damage Control. So a rushed match saw Lyra Valkyria come to ringside to support the babyfaces and distract the heels, allowing former women's tag team champs Carter and Chance to score the upset win. There was nothing to the match, as it was far too quick to establish anything of substance outside of Lyra Valkyria earning a measure of revenge against Damage Control. 1-star effort there. Clearly the worst fight of the night. Here we go, boys. The Be a Man fight we were all waiting for. Sheamus versus Braun Breaker. Technically, I could say Sheamus won the match via disqualification, but I'm seeing apparent no contest in an even 13 minutes. And it was all because of Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser ruined what was on its way to being a hell of a main event. Well, an amazing Be a Man fight. And I believe Michael Bullock starts it off. So Bullock, Ludwig Kaiser ruining what ended up being a banger, a Be a Man banger between Sheamus and Braun Breaker, which ends in an even 13 minutes.
Where do you think? Are you going to call it 13 minutes or?
No, it's 13 minutes. That's what I have.
I'll give this 3.5. I was going to give it 4, but because of the DQ, I have to give it 3.5. But man, this was on its way to be such a good match, and you had to ruin it like that. Yeah, I'm not. It was still a good match, but it's just the ending that rubbed me the wrong way. So there's really nothing more for me to say. It's yours, Florio.
I was going to give it 4, but I'm bumping it down to 3.5. This was the second best fight of the night here. And after the match was over, as Ludwig Kaiser was ready to do some major damage on Sheamus, Braun Breaker wiped out Sheamus on the floor with a spear and then rushed around the squared circle and leveled Ludwig Kaiser with the damnedest spear you will ever see. It was a ferocious display that generated holy bleep chants and further enhanced the unhinged, unstoppable badass that Braun Breaker has been on the main roster. That the segment ended with a tense stare down between Breaker and Zayn suggests maybe it will be Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn 1-on-1 for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, presumably as soon as Money in the Bank in Toronto. Overall, it was a 4, but I'm bumping it down to 3.5 because of the interference by Ludwig Kaiser. But damn it to hell, MF. Man, what could have been if Ludwig Kaiser didn't get involved?
Yeah, nah, man. This would have been an all-timer. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is a 3.5 star bout. It was a fine match. It was a fine battle. It was a good fight. Enjoyable for the most part. A little bit of a letdown, but like you said, there's really nothing more to add there. But I will say this. If Braun Breaker is indeed the one to go after Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship, boys, I think we're going to have a new champion. I think Braun Breaker is about to become an Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And then at that point, we might have a Gunther level reign with Braun Breaker as Intercontinental Champion. I really believe it's going to be a long time because he's already proven that there is not a guy right now that has even come close to even threatening Braun Breaker as far as, being a monster, a ferocious monster right now. So I think we might be looking at the next Intercontinental Champion, boys. I really do. So, and then as far as Ludwig goes, brother, you are asking for a butt kicking from the Celtic Warrior. I mean, you're really barking up the wrong tree, bro. You are about to get your ass kicked for this. I'm just saying. Nothing more to say. But Florio, it's yours.
All right. And we got some things to set up here, guys. Then we had another moment with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio in the back, and they got interrupted by Damian Priest. Whoa, and Liv Morgan told Dominic, "You want your vest? Come take it off me." Oh, baby. I swear I could hear MF snickering. I could swear I heard him snickering a mile away. Trust me. But, I know you, Fletch. I know you. But
like I said, she is literally playing with fire.
But before it got too far, enter the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest. He put an end to it.
El Campeón.
And Bullock had a thought, was like, uh-oh, is Liv naked under there? No, she wasn't. She had a top on. It's okay. So everything's fine. So, but my goodness.
I mean, it is a PG show. I know they like to toe the line a little bit, but I don't think it's not like the old what was that VMA that had where it was Tommy Lee in the trench coat and then he had nothing underneath. But no.
Really?
Huh? I
don't remember that one. But,
yeah, it was a MTV VMAs. It was at the old at Radio City Music Hall. I think it was like 1998, 1999. And Tommy Lee. Okay. And Tommy Lee actually, because this was when Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson were husband and wife, and there was one year where they were presenting, and he actually came out, and he had a trench coat, a long trench coat, and he was naked underneath. Thank God, and MTV was a little nervous because obviously you don't know what Tommy Lee was going to do, but fortunately he was a good boy. He was on his best behavior. And nothing bad happened that night. Right. So we'll leave it at that. But there was a little bit of a fear about Liv. Was there anything underneath Liv because of how elongated the jacket is and the whole 9 yards? No. Anthony confirmed it. There was a top and I think there was some shorts as well. It's just it gave the illusion or it gave the innuendo that maybe there was something that she was really up to no good. But nah, she again, she's just playing with the poor kid. And like I said, man, I don't know. At some point, I gotta give it to Dom because he's not folded. He's still loyal. But at some point, there's gonna be a moment or something's gonna happen, and he might fold to Liv. And she's playing him so bad, it's unbelievable. But like you said, she's playing it in the way to get to Rhea. She's playing his cards. She's playing all the cards because she's trying everything to manipulate Dom and Dom to a fault is loyal to mommy. He is. He's very loyal, and you gotta give him a lot of credit for all of the shenanigans, for everything that Liv has done up to this point. He hasn't folded except for that kiss. But you can't blame him for that kiss because she initiated it, not him. So maybe he gets a little bit of a pass on that. Even though Michael Cole and Pat McAfee's been raking the poor kid through the coals for no apparent reason, I can give him a little bit of a reprieve. But like you said, man, she is, like Michael Bullock has been saying this whole time, she's been playing with fire, and there's going to be a point where she's going to get burned. But she is scorching hot right now. I don't think she even cares if she gets burned because her fire is like a raging inferno right now because Lordy, what she's doing to Dom, man. Like for me, for Florio, if she played those kind of games, I'm thinking we would fold. I think one of us would have folded by now.
I would have.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, man. She's playing quite the game. It's just, where do it's going to get to a point where, like you said, Dom's going to have to stand up and say enough is enough, but who knows what. Lordy. Yep.
Okay. So let's set the table for next week. Monday Night Raw next week will be at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, the home of the Indiana Pacers. 2 more qualifying matches. On the men's side, Chad Gable is in for the fight of his life. He has to go up against both Braun Strowman and Big Bronson Reed. Oh, boy. Gable, Strowman, Reed. Triple threat match next week for the Money in the Bank qualifier. And on the women's side, it'll be Lyra Valkyria versus Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. And we also have the first 2 men's Money in the Bank qualifying matches that will take place Friday night on SmackDown. MF, listen to this lineup. In one match, it's Kevin Owens versus the new WWE Speed Champion, Andrade, versus one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, Grayson Waller. And on the other side, Carmelo Hayes versus Tama Tonga versus Randy Orton. Yow. Ooh, is that going to be something? Main event of the night, the men's Money in the Bank qualifying match, Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, Finn Balor, winner of the match, 16 minutes and 10 seconds, and the first man to qualify for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, Jey Uso. Jey Uso is moving on to Toronto. No doubt about it. Fight of the night, 4 to 4.25 stars. Match was an action-packed affair that highlighted all 3 competitors appropriately, with Rey Mysterio shining while Finn Balor was the glue that held the match together. Jey Uso, the biggest star of the match, made good on his vow from 2 weeks ago to win Money in the Bank by first qualifying for the bout, following up Balor's coup de grace with an Uso splash for the pinfall win. While Uso qualifying for a high-stakes match is big news, there was more. You notice there was a decent amount of time left after this. It was the arrival of the as of yet unnamed Uncle Howdy-led faction that made high headlines at the conclusion of this show. Security, wrestlers, and crew members were shown lying astray, their bodies beaten and battered. There was even blood painting away just above an unconscious management member. Around every turn, a new member of the group. The first, Nikki Cross, introduced the Lantern. Eric Rowan in a monster bunny mask was next, followed by Dexter Lumis. Joe Gacy was next before Uncle Howdy was finally revealed, leading the group into the arena where they joined Nikki Cross. "We're here," Howdy said before blowing out the lantern and sending the show to black. It was an unforgettable return for the group and a hell of a cliffhanger, almost demanding the audience tunes in next week to see what is next for the totally not supernatural faction. It looks like Jey Uso's entrance will be through the crowd for the time being. It suits him and is different from every other in the company. A smart move from someone who attributed part of his success to the fans who have ridden with him from the start. And Rey Mysterio continues to move better and perform at a higher level than anyone his age ever should. Keep in mind, he's 49, soon to be 50 years old. And he's bumping like he's still 20. So, I'm just saying. Fight of the night here, 4 to 4.25 stars. But MF, as great as it is for Jey Uso to go to Money in the Bank in a 4 to 4.25 star match, 16 minutes and 10 seconds time of the fall. As great as it is for Jey Uso, what was that faction at the end with this Uncle Howdy faction? Whoa. Okay. So nothing more to say. MF, come on in. Your thoughts on the main event and what we saw at the end with the new Uncle Howdy faction.
Okay. First off, let's start off with the match. It was a fight of the night. It was a great 3.5 to 3 3/4. You can even make an argument for 4. Jey Uso going in, winning the match, amazing, awesome. You can now even declare that maybe Jey Uso is the favorite of the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men. Obviously, we need to see what who we're gonna get from the SmackDown side, and then of course the men's is still going, so we'll see how that plays out. But man, that would be amazing. Now, the faction. We heard a lot of rumors who it could be. We heard a lot of things who it might be. Obviously, it's the White Six. Started with Nikki Cross. There was some people that were thinking maybe Alexa Bliss. Obviously, Alexa maybe not ready. We'll wait and see how that plays out. But then you saw the next person there. Looked like that was Eric Rowan, who had the hammer. So we had that.
It was him with the Monster Bunny mask, yes.
Yes. Then you go into the gorilla position. You had somebody else. That one, now that could have been Joe Gacy. That could have been Dexter Lumis. We don't know. I want to say Dexter. And then after that, there was someone else there that was Gacy. And then once you go through the main, then you saw him. Uncle Howdy himself, Bo Dallas. He comes through. And the path of destruction that they laid in Gorilla and on that little way into Gorilla makes us know very clear that this is bad news for everybody in WWE. Because if they let that level of destruction, what on earth are they going to do? And Florio, I hate to say this, but this might be your problem. Because it looks like this might be a Monday Night Raw problem. Thank God they're not on SmackDown, because Lordy, I don't even know if Nick Aldis is going to be able to contain this. Adam Pearce, good luck, bro. You're going to need it. And that is official. But anyway, wow. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just straight up wow. Michael Bullock, 3.5 to 4 for the main event, but the path of destruction that was made by Uncle Howdy and his crew. Oh lordy, that's all I can say about that.
Yeah, 3.5 to 4 for the main event, but man, this new faction. I mean, with led by Uncle Howdy and what looks like to be the Wyatt Six. That's bad news for Monday Night Raw. Bad news indeed. And if that's the kind of path of destruction they're leaving, who knows what else they're gonna do. So, man, there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
All right, MF. MF will lead off our overall review. The fallout from Clash at the Castle. We start the road to Toronto and Money in the Bank. MF, how did it play out? All right. I don't know if MF stepped away, but Michael Bullock, why don't you take it for a spin while we wait for MF to come back in?
Yeah, I thought this was a good show. I mean, we saw a lot of surprises. We saw some good matches. I mean, one or two maybe not so good matches. So, and the promos were really good. So, I'll give this about maybe 7.5 to 8. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, I'm with you. This was about a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 as well. Let me just okay. Just want to make sure I'm all good here. Okay. The hype for Money in the Bank got underway tonight with creative undeniably focused on building one of the most anticipated cards of the year. From the surprise return of Seth freaking Rollins at the start of the show, to the announcement of his World Heavyweight Championship match with Damian Priest, to the tease of Zelina Vega versus Liv Morgan in the 2 qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. This was a focused show that set out to make it abundantly clear that the July 6th show is a big deal. We got the latest in the Chad Gable Otis story, the introduction of Braun Breaker and Sheamus as potential contenders to Sami Zayn's Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and the continued teases of an evolution for Damage Control. Ultimately, though, the match will be forever remembered as the introduction to Uncle Howdy and his merry bunch of monsters straight out of the wonderland of hell. The debut was excellent, with chaos and violence taking center stage, the stuff of nightmares for some. Triple H and WWE Creative gave the group about as great a debut as possible and will give it every opportunity to succeed. Whether it does or not will depend on how well the company tightropes the fine line between the haunting and the absurd. For now, color it a massive success. I'm actually going to give it a solid 8 out of 10 for me. So not much more to say. MF, if you're back in, let's get your quick thoughts, and then I will give you all a quick rundown of Against All Odds TNA, and then Michael Bullock's big moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna openly admit it. I'm gonna say 7.5. I thought it was a solid show. I thought they did a really good job. Really nothing more to add. So Florio, let's get into the TNA Against All Odds.
TNA Against All Odds. It went down this past Friday night from the Cicero Stadium, the Cicero Indoor Stadium in Cicero, Illinois, the suburb of Chicago. On the pre-show, Jonathan Gresham versus Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan wins the match in 2 minutes and 23 seconds. And then we had a Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match. The champions, Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich, defending against Allison Kay and Marty Bell, the Hex. Winners and still Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich. They win that match in 7 minutes and 59 seconds. The reluctant tag team of Steve Macklin and Mike Santana went up against Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz of the Rascals. Macklin and Santana win the match, 12 minutes and 51 seconds. Rich Swann of First Class went up against PCO. PCO won the match in 5 minutes and 50 seconds. TNA World Tag Team Championships on the line. Champions Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards of the System going up against the Nemeth brothers, Nick and Ryan Nemeth. The System, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, they retain the titles, 12 minutes and 36 seconds. Joe Henry versus Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian in a bit of a shocker here, 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Mustafa Ali defending the TNA X Division Championship against Trent Seven. Mustafa Ali retains the title, 15 minutes, 33 seconds. ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay went up against Eric Young and Josh Alexander. ABC wins the match, 18 minutes and 17 seconds. All right, we were all wondering who was going to answer Jordynne Grace's open challenge for the TNA Knockouts Championship. From NXT, Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley answered the bell, but Tatum Paxley unfortunately came up short for her. Jordynne Grace, the winner and still TNA Knockouts World Champion. She retains the title, 11 minutes and 14 seconds. And in the main event of the evening, it was a broken rules match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. The champion Moose defending the title against Broken Matt Hardy. Winner of the match, 21 minutes and 32 seconds. And still the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. It is Moose. But after the match was over, Brother Nero, I knew you'd come. Yes. Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy. And those guys are working in TNA right now without contracts. Go figure that. So that's your Against All Odds wrap up. The next event, a month from now, I believe it's July 20th, TNA with one of their biggest events of the year, Slammiversary from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We'll get into that next month. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, and I know especially Michael Bullock has been waiting for. He's been chomping at the bits to get into this. Tonight is going to be our final Celtics chat of this postseason, but for good reason. Because tonight, the Boston Celtics did what they set out to do, did what they were hoping to do on Friday night in Dallas. Unfortunately, they didn't get it done in Dallas. They got smashed in Game 4. But tonight, the Boston Celtics, for the first time since 2008, and for the 18th time in franchise history, the Boston Celtics are once again NBA champions, most successful franchise in NBA history. And for Al Horford, a dream has come true, indeed. 186 career playoff games without a championship. Second most all time. Only the great Karl Malone had more, 193. But I don't have a full-on recap here, so we're just gonna go straight into the numbers. For the champion Celtics, Jason Tatum, with a double-double, 31 points, 11 assists, 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. 31 points, 11 assists, he had 8 rebounds. Jaylen Brown, NBA Finals MVP Jaylen Brown, by the way. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Drew Holiday, double-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds. Al Horford, 9 points, 9 rebounds. Derek White, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Sam Hauser with 8 points and 4 rebounds off the bench. Kristaps Porzingis only 5 off the bench. Pritchard with a 3 off the bench. For the Dallas Mavericks, of course, it was Luka Doncic. Another double-double, 28 points, 12 rebounds. He also had 5 assists and 3 steals. Kyrie Irving, 15 points, 9 assists. Derek Jones Jr. with 10. PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford with 6. PJ Washington with 4. Josh Green off the bench, 14 points. Good performance from him. Exum had 4 off the bench. Lively with 2. And Kleber with 2. And now let's get into the team numbers. Dallas actually had a better field goal percentage. Dallas, 44.9, about 45% from the field. Boston, just about 43. The three-point shooting, Boston, 13 out of 39 for 33%. Dallas, 11 of 37 for 30%. Boston was 17 of 20 from the free throw line, 85%. Dallas, 7 out of 13 from the line, 54%. Rebounds, 15-7 offensively for Boston, 36-28 defensively for Boston. Overall rebounding, 51-35 Boston. Boston, 25 assists, Dallas 18. Boston, 9 steals, Dallas 4. Dallas, 4 blocks, Boston, 2 blocks. Celtics committed only 9 turnovers. Dallas committed 13. Boston scored 17 points off those turnovers. Dallas only 6. Fast break points, 16-9 in favor of Boston. Points in the paint, 42-42 apiece, even. Boston committed 15 fouls, Dallas committed 20, and the Boston Celtics led coast to coast. The Dallas Mavericks did not lead for 1 single second in this game. And Boston led by as many as 26. And for the first, and go figure, gentlemen, 16 years to the day of their last NBA championship, June 17th, 2008, which is still to this day considered the most lopsided and dominant championship clinching victory of all time when they smashed the Lakers by almost 40. Well, not quite as lopsided, but still, for the first time since 08, 16 years in the making, the Boston Celtics, for the 18th time in franchise history, are once again NBA champions and are now once again the most successful franchise in NBA history. There is nothing more left for me to say except, Michael Bullock, Phenom, I know you've been chomping at the bits for this last hour. And now, there's nothing left for me to say except in the immortal words of Ricky Ricardo, my friend, looks like you've got some more shopping to do, number one. And number two, in the immortal words of our boy, the great Uncle Pat Sajak himself, I got to ask, and I know you're going to love this when I ask you this once again. How you doing?
Oh, man, it's unreal. I mean, and just think, the journey this team has gone through. 2 years ago, they lose in the NBA Finals to the Golden State Warriors. And then last year, almost was on the verge of coming back from a 3-0 deficit in the conference finals. And now here we are. And let's not forget another thing. They were, not only did they miss out 2 years ago, but in 2010 too. So there was a lot of unfinished business. And they finally got it done. Like you said, they led coast to coast throughout the entire game. I mean, Tatum with a big game. I mean, but of course, I think what really sunk the Mavericks was that Peyton Pritchard halftime buzzer beater. Once that happened, you pretty much knew that it was over. And kudos to the Celtics. I mean, to Brad Stevens for putting this team together. And think about this, guys. Brad Stevens goes from being a really good coach with the Celtics to being a really good president of basketball operations. I mean, that's not an easy transaction. And somehow he made it work. He put this team together. He brought in guys like Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and so many other guys to contribute. And Joe Mazzulla. I mean, last year this guy was getting scrutinized for so long. I mean, for so many times. There were even times that this guy was they called for him to be fired. But thank goodness the Celtics didn't listen to all that. And yeah, Mazzulla matured as a head coach, and you saw it right there. And yes, I mean, they had the best record in the NBA. They rolled through in the first round against Dallas. Rolled through against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They sweep the Indiana Pacers in the conference finals.
You meant the Miami Heat. You said Dallas.
Or the Miami Heat. Yeah, whatever. I'm just so freaking excited right now. I mean, come on, Florio. Give me a damn break here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I mean,
I don't blame you.
Yeah. And they sweep the Indiana Pacers. And then, of course, now they finish off the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. And there were so many people who came out and said, "This will never win a championship of Tatum and Brown." They people who are saying that one of those two should be traded. But thank goodness the team did not listen to any of that negativity, any of that nonsense. They stuck to the plan, and now here they are. And now an 18-time NBA champion. They now have the record once again. Somewhere right now, all those legends must be smiling from, especially the late great Bill Russell. I mean, especially with Jaylen Brown being named the Bill Russell Finals MVP. You know he had to be smiling. And also, how about for 95-year-old Bob Cousy? I mean, this guy wanted to live to see another Celtics championship, and he's seen it. And all the other legends, from Larry Bird to Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, I mean, Sam Jones, the late great Bill Walton, all those, you know that they must be proud of this 2024 Boston Celtics, who are now NBA champions. And who knows when that parade is going to be, but you know that's going to be a wild one. But congratulations to the Boston Celtics, NBA champions. And yes, Florio, I will be out there tomorrow getting that same hat and shirt that they are wearing. So, man, I will never. I mean, it's going to be a great night for everybody. So, quick thoughts from you guys.
Well, first things first, Michael Bullock, congratulations, my friend. I mean, it's been a long journey, I know. I mean, after so many near misses over the last, 6-7 years since this team started to get good again, when Tatum and Brown came to town, and I mean, I'll pull the Mike Breen here in a sense. Well, I mean, it started right around 18 or so, and they had all those near misses, going to the conference finals, just couldn't get over the hump. And then, of course, it was 2 years ago where they finally broke through and went to the NBA finals, only to come up short against Golden State, losing on their home floor to them, and watching the Golden State Warriors celebrate the NBA, the Larry O'Brien trophy on their floor. And then, of course, last year, nearly coming back from 0-3 down, they forced the game 7. Tatum gets hurt in like the first minute or two of that game, changed the complexion of that game, and, well, Miami just smashed them after that. And the pain and the heartbreak of the last 2 years, watching the Golden State Warriors celebrate the NBA championship 2 years ago on their floor, and the Miami Heat celebrating the Eastern Conference championship on their floor. And now here they are tonight on their floor, on the legendary parquet floor, bringing home the 18th NBA championship. And we don't know when the parade is just yet. Nothing. I haven't seen anything. I mean, it's going to be we got some very hot weather coming to New England this week. A heat advisory has been out. So
I would probably venture a guess, it just for the mere fact, because of that heat, I would think either Friday
Hold on. I got breaking news. The rumor, keyword, read into it what you will, take it with a grain of salt, whatever. I just heard from Gary Washburn. He said that the Celtics are headed to Miami for a few days to party. Parade is expected to be this Friday. Considering a heat wave this week and the last week of Boston public schools, the rumor is that the Boston Celtics championship duck boat parade will be this Friday morning at 11 a.m. So read into that what you will.
Well, coming from him, and I think he's an insider for the Celtics, I would probably take stock with that. And I would probably say that probably would be, yeah, that sounds about right. I would say that. I was gonna say either Friday or Saturday at the latest, but yeah, I think Friday would be.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
And to get back to my Mike Breen thought before I give it to MF, to be like the Jeff Van Gundy, if you will. What a season for this team. I mean, dominated from start to finish, best record. First round, they got their payback on the Miami Heat, sans Jimmy Butler. And then in the second round, that was a 5-game series win. They won game 1 dominantly. They lose game 2 at home and then won 3 in a row to win the series. Same thing in the Cleveland series. Cleveland lost their star player, Donovan Mitchell, shortly after, near the end of that series. And then we thought they were going to get tested by the Indiana Pacers. Oh, no. Yes, Indiana gave them some tough games, but the Celtics swept them 4 straight to win that series. And then they went up 3-0. Game 4, we were all expecting a coronation on Friday night. Dallas said, F that. We're going to smash these guys. And they smashed them. Boston trailed by as many as 48 in that game. And then here tonight, they feasted on that home cooking. And this is the 4th consecutive, when it comes to their championships, this is the 4th straight championship they've won on their home floor. 84 against the Lakers, 86 against the Rockets in the old Boston Garden, 08 against the Lakers, and now tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. What an incredible job by this team from start to finish. Brian Keenan and I have had a lot of conversations over the last several months talking about this team. And we knew it as far back as like 3 or 4 months ago. We said that this team was the real deal. And we said that this team, it was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when they win the NBA championship. I've said to him many times, I can taste that championship, baby. And he tasted it too. And I'm not at all surprised we were right. So Jaylen Brown, the MVP, Kristaps Porzingis, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Drew Holiday, what a godsend from Milwaukee. Picked up the day before camp started. And then great bench players like Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser and Joe Mazzulla. What can you say about him? He did. I gotta commend him, and I gotta say that Joe Mazzulla did an absolutely commendable job with this team. A very commendable job handling a very difficult situation after the ugly exit of Ime Udoka. And a lot of people called for his head, like Bullock said, but I don't think they're going to be calling for his head now. So congratulations to the Boston Celtics. Congratulations to their fans, most notably Michael Bullock, our dear friends Brian and Mike Keenan, Ryan Abedizian, Heather Rostic, Sarah Brulette, the whole crew. I know they're going to be celebrating, and I'm sure we're going to be celebrating because we got a boys' night out scheduled for this weekend, and I know we're going to be celebrating the Celtics. No question about that. So there isn't anything else left to say. MF, how about those 18-time NBA champion Boston Celtics? What a story. What a job. Tonight, like Shane O'Mac, they went coast to coast.
Yeah, they dominated the game. They dominated the series. They wanted this title. They were looking for it. Some people claim that they maybe threw game 4 just for the mere fact to try to win it back on their court. And sure enough, they did that. Early on, they jumped out to an early lead. Then you started to see that they really were going for it. They dominated at halftime. They were up by 21, and they just did not relent. So you kind of felt like tonight was their night. You kind of felt like this was their moment. And sure enough, the Boston Celtics ended up slamming the door on this series and winning the NBA championship. And that's exactly what you wanted to see. You know what? You're going to get the naysayers out there saying, you know what? That was probably one of the easiest paths that the Celtics got. The way that they won the title and everything else. Look, you can say whatever you want to say about it. Boston handled their business. It doesn't matter what the situations were. Doesn't matter who was injured, who was not injured, who they had to face. At the end of the day, you finish the job. And that's exactly what Boston did. They did exactly what they needed it to do. And now they are on top of the NBA mountain. They are the world champions again. And rightfully so. Rightfully deserving. Now the journey becomes is what happens next? Well, we'll find out. There's going to be a lot of decisions that are going to be made. There's going to be a lot of decisions that needs to be done. Some guys are going to be, re-signed. There's going to be guys that will be probably leaving. And the question is how you try to build off this championship win. Everybody now wants a piece of you. Everybody's going to want to see how this plays out, the whole 9 yards. And that's exactly what we're going to have to wait and see. But at the end of the day, the Boston Celtics did exactly what they were going to do. They were the prohibitive favorites going into the playoffs. They were the prohibitive favorites. And they did exactly how they were handling the business. They got the job done. Congratulations to the Boston Celtics, the NBA world champions. Anthony Florio, it was an incredible evening, to say the very least.
Yes, sir.
Obviously an honor and a pleasure to always do the NBA Finals with your man. And we always have fun doing this. Dude, we've been doing this for so many years, man, and it's just it just gets better and better.
Huh? And the last few with Bullock too.
Yeah. So
and let me just say, sometimes this business just hits you right in the heart, and we've been doing this for a long time, and especially for Michael Bullock, it doesn't get any sweeter than this. They pulled the Cody Rhodes. They finished the story, and what a spring it has been for the family of TXN Sports networks. When it comes to our teams, good old MF Michael Fletcher. You won yours. You have 2 championships this year. Michigan, when they won the College Football Playoff National Championship in January, and then Sunday night, your Birmingham Stallions adding another one to their trophy case, a UFL championship, to go with the 2 USFL championships. So a 3-peat for MF's Birmingham Stallions. And for Michael Bullock, this is his 2nd championship. He's also a Michigan fan with MF. They celebrated in January with the College Football Playoff National Championship. And now tonight, June 17th, 2024, Michael Bullock gets to celebrate again as his beloved Boston Celtics, for the first time since 2008, are NBA champions. You've got some shopping to do, my friend, and I know you're gonna be itching to get out that door and get to wherever you go to get your championship gear like your pants were on fire, for goodness sakes.
Oh, you better believe it. And come Sunday, you will see it.
I can't wait to see how it looks on you, man. I know you're gonna be getting that shirt, the hat, I'm sure, like you always do when your teams win. MF, did you have a thought?
No, I was gonna say, I just feel bad for the poor people at Dick's Sporting Goods right now, because I do believe it is still open. I don't know if I think they've done extended hours because of Boston winning the title. I do know that the official NBA shirt and hat is at Dick's Sporting Goods as we speak.
Also available on Fanatics.com.
Fanatics.com, NBAshop.com. And I actually did hear a rumor that the WWE's got their version of the WWE Championship with the Boston Celtics side plates. I don't know if it's up yet, but I did hear a rumor that a belt might be being circulated right now with the side plates of the Boston Celtics as champions. So that also might be hitting the market within the next few hours.
And one more thing. What a perfect way for Mike Gorman to go out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
43 years.
He said it. He said in that ceremony, he said, "Go win one, boys," and they did just that.
And
What
in
a
grand
perfect
style,
way
too.
for Mike Gorman's long career to come to an end with the team as NBA champions.
Bullock, I know this business. I know the business can hit you in the heart sometimes, but I know every championship is sweet, but I know this one has got to be beyond sweet for you. I'm sure it is. It's got to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like with Cody Rhodes when he finished his story at WrestleMania, just like with Michigan when they won the college football playoff national championship. I mean, seeing a team win a championship is one thing, but when it's a team that your best friend, your dearest friend is a fan of, you cannot help but be happy for it. And I haven't had the thrill of a championship since my Yankees in 2009 when they won the World Series, but I've been beyond happy for these guys these last few years, starting with MF and his Braves when they won the World Series in 2021, the big show we did that night, which I'll never forget. And then, of course, back in January, MF and Bullock when we celebrated Michigan winning the college football playoff national championship. And now tonight, another celebration, this time from Michael Bullock and his beloved Boston Celtics, 18-time NBA champions. Ah, oh, damn it to hell, man. I'm so happy for you. I'm not just for you, but also for all of our dear friends. They know who they are. And oh boy, that outing on Sunday is going to be hella fun. We're definitely going to be celebrating, no doubt about that. So congratulations again to Bullock and the Celtics. Well, hell of a job. Enjoy. Well-deserved. And it's been a lot of fun bringing you the Celtics chat, along with the Bruins beat and the Rangers roundup this spring. I wish we could have added a Rangers Stanley Cup to it, but, it is what it is. But tomorrow night, the Florida Panthers, they could follow suit. And they could capture their first Stanley Cup in their house tomorrow night. Maybe this bodes well for them. We'll see. Against the Edmonton Oilers. Game 5 later tonight. So, all right. So with all that being said, that will put the bow on this very big time, big fun edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very, very much for tuning in and hanging out with us here tonight. We will be back with you Wednesday night at 10:30 over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Madness. We got NXT, we got AEW Dynamite, and then from there, we'll get back to you with the rest of the content. But that's up next Wednesday night. So with that, I'll put the bow on this. So until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness, over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, it's Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher. And for the world champion, the phenom, Michael Bullock. And, of course, always in spirit, the First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. I know Bullock damn sure will. And until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling and the Celtics are indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye. And congratulations once again to the 2024 and 18-time NBA champion, Boston Celtics, and to Michael Bullock and all of our dear friends.
Yeet!
Yeet! Good night, my friends, and enjoy.